Well, it looked like we picked up where we left off last year. It was going to be another heck of a ball game. Came back out in the second half, and um, they took it to another level, and we weren't able to sustain um, our play on the offensive end. Um, a lot of things. Didn't tackle well, didn't cover well on our end. But a lot of credit goes to them because they really, in that second half, executed at extremely high level. So hats off to them.
How much would you say was you guys struggling, and what percentage is that?
They played well. They really played well. And then those guys can, 3 and 7 can really run a little bit. And the thing that was disappointing, just from you're talking about from a defensive standpoint, was our inability to stop the run. I mean, I knew that Logan was going to be efficient. He was 14 or 20, somewhere along those lines, and they were going to make a few explosive plays. But I really felt like we would stop the run a little bit better than we did. And in my opinion, that's where the game really changed, because not only were they getting huge chunks, they were keeping the ball. I think the time possession ended up being, 36, 35 to 24, whatever it was. And that made a big difference in the ball game, in my opinion.
One other thing was defensively, you guys had become so efficient or effective, I guess is better, in turnovers.
Yeah.
You created so many turnovers
Yeah.
all season long,
I
and there were none.
Yeah, there were none. I guess you can blame that one on me, because the emphasis going into the game, I felt like in the Buffalo game, that we didn't do a very good job of tackling. So, maybe we were reaching and trying to create too many turnovers and not getting the guy down. So I really wanted to be sure that we tackled well this week, and we didn't do it. We didn't do that either.
Was it more, I guess, the run defense? It seemed like the defensive line had its struggles, but do you feel like guys, especially the linebackers, were in the right spots?
There's a lot of times that, whether it be twists, guys are fitting their gaps, and it's one-on-one in the hole, and we were unsuccessful. So not only did it happen on the second level, but it happened quite a few times on the third level as well. So on that day, their guys in space were better than ours.
And what are you looking at from Eastern Michigan this week?
A lot of the same. I mean, these are three of the top offenses in the conference, especially throwing the ball wise. Got a fifth-year senior quarterback that's playing with a lot of confidence right now. It's them and NIU have the two best defenses in the conference, and they're going to keep you guessing. They're going to play a four-down team. They're going to bring pressures, twists, game stunts up front, sound on the back end. I'm going to make you earn everything. I think them in Toledo was a 2015 low-scoring ball game. That was early in the year when the conditions were kind of ideal. So just like I talked to the kids about this morning, you better dust yourself off and pick yourself up, because it's a good football team we're playing. If you're looking 8 games through the season, there was no reason that they shouldn't have been 8-0. They had an opportunity or played in overtime in each and every one of those ball games. So excited about the challenge. I want to see how we respond. I thought they responded well, and they came out ready to play. I mean, I could feel the energy, I could feel the juice in that first half, and the confidence. And again, to Toledo's credit, they came out, punched in the face, and we didn't get back up.
Yeah, but how do you do that, though, to respond and finish the season off strong?
Well, number one, you've got to address it. You cannot act like it didn't happen. You got to own up to it, and you got to face the fact that we got dominated in the second half. Thorough butt kicking. We got to look each other in the eye, and we got to make a choice. We got to choose that this is not how we're going out, and we'll show up Tuesday night, and we'll put forth a better performance.
You mentioned Brogan Roback, quarterback at Eastern Michigan. What stands out to you?
Tremendous arm talent. I mean, in the last couple of weeks, I've heard chatter of him getting an NFL grade. So he's got a unique ability to spin the football. And the thing that kind of sticks out to me right now is the confidence in which he's playing. You know, he never feels like he's out of the game. You know, he's got that gunslinger mentality. He may throw a pick here or there, but he's coming right back at you and hitting a big play 2 series later. So I've enjoyed watching film of him this week, and again, we're gonna have to be at our best.
I mean, you mentioned obviously the chatter with the NFL grade. Do you see any of that the potential for him to play? I mean, I know it's kind of like a long shot. You might as well just throw a dart board with a lot.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
Like you personally,
he definitely has the arm talent, and he's got the measurables. You know, so then from there, it's you know, once they get him in the meeting room and the film sessions and things of that nature, that's probably going to determine, you know, how far he's able to take this. So, but just from, if you're asking me purely from a talent standpoint, yes.
We've seen the offense take steps this year, especially with Jared under center. You feel like you've seen the same progression through the defense?
No, I mean that's you just kind of look at the numbers and that's obvious. You know, these have probably been 2 of our worst performances of the year from a statistical standpoint. So we're going to need to play better because this is another offense that we're playing that's capable of putting up big numbers. So we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out in a hurry. We got 4 days now.
What have the biggest issues been in that front as far as the lack of progression on that side of the ball?
Well, are you talking about in our front 7 or are you talking about back end? Or just defense as a whole?
The front 7, really. I mean, the back end, I think we've seen some.
No, you know, they've improved as the years go on. Really, right now, you know, we're not able to get any pressure. You know, we don't have a pass rusher, and you know, when you go and you try to dial it up and bring pressures, that means you got to be in 1 or 0 behind it, and then not having that great speed right now on the outside of the corner position. It's not even double moves that we're getting hit on sometimes. It's just straight goes. That's a problem. So obviously we've got to get bigger up front, and obviously we've got to get faster on the back.
Is there really what you can do to accommodate for the lack of pass rush?
You've got to, you know, try to be a little bit more dynamic in those situations, you know, and help the kids out the best way that you can.
Another word about Eastern's defense, in particular, I don't know if you're able to sort specific guys out, but Harris on one of the both defense actually. Are they doing special things to get those kids in? I mean, is that just
No, that's kind of, it's funny that you say that. I looked at their roster, and a lot of those guys, those were their only offers. You know what I mean? So they're doing a good job of coaching them and developing them. And what he did a good job of is something that we look to do. If you look up inside, the 2 tackles up inside, one's 315, one's 320. They don't move great, but they hold the point and they do their job. Defensive ends are not overly athletic, but they're 6'5", 265. You know what I mean? They're not. They can't. I bet neither one of them runs a 5 flat. But they're good football players. They understand their assignments, and they've got length and they've got size. And that's one of the things that we need to improve. You know, we got good kids that are playing hard for us, but we've got to be. We can't be 265, 275 up inside. Or I don't want to be. You know what I mean? I want some length at the defensive end position. So they've done a great job of that, and then they're sound on the back end. You know, they don't try to do too much. They stay pretty simple.
you mentioned real briefly the short week? How do you adjust to
Well, the biggest deal has been our practice schedule. We went this morning, and really there's 2 ways that you can go about it. You can kind of have a real light day on the first day, which would have been today, and then come back and have a real long practice in pads and be real physical, and come back and go short again. Or you can kind of cut it back and go 2 hour and 10 hour and 15-minute practice each and every day, and that's kind of what we chose to do. So really at this point, you're not developing any physical or mental toughness. It's about getting their bodies healthy and getting the game plan implemented.
I think you just answered the why you chose that. It's the time of the season.
Absolutely. And regardless of our record, that's probably, and made a couple phone calls here and there to talk to some guys that have been through this, and that's kind of was a consensus on the way to kind of handle the situation.
Obviously, the last 2 years record-wise haven't, been great. I guess through this whole process, what have you learned about yourself, just through the, struggles of trying to, get on the better side of the winning column?
Well, it's not the first time that I've been through it. When you start a program from its conception, and the only head coaches ever have, you go through a similar process. What you got to do is continue to believe in what you're trying to do, and hold fast to those beliefs. And at the same time, you've got to recognize where your weaknesses are, and at the end of the day, you always want to try to make your weaknesses your greatest strength. So that's how we approached it, way back in '06. That's how we're approaching it now. Moving in the right direction. We talked about just from just what we want to look like roster standpoint. I think we've done a decent job of addressing that, and if we're able to put this second class of stacking behind it, I think you'll start to see some of the things on the football field. Right now we've got 18 guys nobody's taking a look at, and they're pretty dang good football players.
You mentioned that part of the process is the belief. Has yours been tested this year?
Well, not at all. Frustrated, just angry, but my belief, no, hadn't wavered at all. I can't worry about things I can't control.
And what's the biggest thing you feel like you've been able to improve on from the beginning of the season to right now?
Well, obviously not very much. The thing that if there's any positive, it's that we've had a lot of unexpected injuries, and especially on the offensive side, the offensive line in particular. That's probably the one thing that I've been proud of with some of those guys that we really felt like we're 2 years away from possibly even touching the field, that have gotten out there.
Recruiting wise, when the season ends, what are the next steps for you?
Well, we'll go and celebrate Thanksgiving with the family, and then right on the road. Head coaches can get out Sunday, and I'll be out Sunday till December 21st. We've got a good class. Got to go and keep that class together.
Do you expect any of those guys to sign on the early?
Majority.
Okay.
Good.
Do you like that early signing? I don't know if you discussed it with him or not, but do you like the window with the early signing period?
I think it may be beneficial for us and our group of 5 teams, because most of your P5 schools, your Ohio States, Michigan States of the world, everybody's going to sign on the 20th, or they're going to move on. And you may have those 2 or 3 guys that are hat guys, but other than that, most of their classes are going to get filled. And then what that's going to do is you're going to know who's truly out there when you come back in that January push. And if you think back to last year, the Noah Harveys of the world, the Ellis kid that we lost at the last minute, we lost 3 or 4 guys that were committed, all within the last week, and I think that alleviates some of that.
And I guess if you can kind of put like your half college coaching hat on, your half high school hat on, do you like that, just kind of having your feet in both pools of coaching experience of helping kids make a decision?
Well, I've been on both sides, especially in the recruiting process. You know what I mean? And when those parents come in, and they understand, I can relate exactly what they're going through, and try to use it as an advantage. And thus far, it's worked pretty good.